Hey, everybody, welcome back to Tools for Success Counseling, where we are your mental health hub. Today, I have a special guest. He is a part of the 1% of Black male therapists in the United States of America, William Witherspoon. You didn't know it was 1%? It's only 1% of us. It's only 1% of us, but he likes to go by Spoon. How you doing today, Spoon?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Barry. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good, good. It has been a good day, not too long. So before we get started, can you just give us a little bit about you? I have gone through your resume. I've stalked you online, pulled some information out. So I got some questions for you today so that people can get to know you. But what do you want us to know about you before we even get started?
Oh, what to know about me? I'm a retired police officer. I did 31 years in Springfield, Mass. I'm a master level clinician who's getting his doctorate degree in mental health and human development. Um, I've been involved in substance treatment and services for over 27 years. Married, two kids, work as a peer support counselor for the sheriff's
Oh,
department, and I believe in God.
okay.
And I do a lot of
All right.
volunteer work at jails and prisons.
So how did you first get pulled into work with the criminal justice system years ago? Like what drew you to that first? Because we've got criminal justice now to, providing therapy.
Well, most people, I would say, oh, I wanted to serve my city, my community, and all that stuff, and be a positive example. But me, actuality with me was, I love TV shows. I wanted to be like Starsky and Hutch and SWAT and Shaft.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to be a superhero. That's all.
Okay.
So
So you
that's
want to
why I
be a
started
cop
with.
and now if it okay.
Yeah. But I started to
And then how
become a
did you
police officer in the late 80s.
late 80s, okay, because we are
Yeah.
retired. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So and then we moved over to mental health. So we wanted to be a superhero, and then now we are where are we at over here?
Yeah. So what happened in my career was I got involved in narcotics. I was a detective for a long time, and that was fun and wild. And I used to think there was good and bad. I didn't know there was underlying circumstances. I thought you knew right from wrong. So during a period of that time of me arresting people and doing all those things, thinking I'm doing a good job, putting people in jail, I ended up developing a drinking problem. So that once I
Oh,
got involved in the 12 steps, I realized that not all people are bad. And then I got involved with doing meetings at prisons, and I learned from those guys more than I learned from being a police officer. That people just need help, just circumstances in life that made them cause them to do certain things, and they're right and they're wrong. For them, is their right based on how they were living and growing up and what they seen. And most people were just surviving, doing the best they can. It wasn't doing it facetiously. And then I learned about just growing up in poverty. And I realized myself growing up in poverty, how I acted different towards other people,
mm,
and I was very judgmental for a while till I became the addict. And then I realized that we were the same. So that's what changed me to go back to school because I wanted to go now switch gears and try to help people stay out of jail instead of put them in jail or find other solutions for it.
okay, beautifully said. So you now you were you, in one stage of your life you were putting the bad guys in jail. Uh Next stage it was kind of okay, am I a bad guy now? But knowing yourself is like, I'm not bad, but I do have, I guess my addiction at this time. And then now I'm at the stage of trying to reform, trying to create some type of reform where there's an option more than good and bad, go to jail, not go to jail. It's like, hey, we are people. How can we get a second chance? Or how can we, stop anything before it goes any further?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
basically that's what happened. I realized they were all the same. It wasn't black and white. There was a lot of gray areas in life. And then also I
Yeah.
learned as a cop too, while in my career trying to become a clinician and helping people, I learned about underlying circumstances of people, why they behave a certain way at a certain time, you know? And I was a school cop for a couple of years at what do you call them, special ed schools? Just the kids with
Okay.
behavior problem, plus they had IAPs, and they would act up. And I remember I would go to the gym teacher and say, "Tell me something about this kid so I won't hate him." And then she'll tell me his story and why he behaves that way. And then I learned how to treat him differently because it's not them
Mm,
who are acting that way. It's just based on where they come from and what they're dealing with. And so I was able to learn how to see them in a different light. So over the course of my 31 years as a cop and then working in the schools and then doing prison stuff, was able to start to see people as who they are, not who I assumed they to be, and realize that there was stuff behind the reasons why they behaved that way. You know, it wasn't
mm.
intentional. They weren't just bad people. They were just trying to survive. And there's certain things that happened. That's why they behaved that way.
Okay. So you've got decades of experience with the criminal justice system and substance abuse recovery for yourself. So what part of the experience shaped you the most as a counselor?
The ability to sit and talk to anybody. I'm not afraid to hear. You can't really frighten me because I've seen a lot of stuff as a cop and I've seen a lot of things as a counselor too. So I heard a lot of things. I've seen some things that I cannot unsee, you know?
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I'm very comfortable with the people. And and then once you learn this story, you can understand why, you know, and so I'm not judgmental. I don't judge when I first encounter. I remember one of my first supervisors, a therapist, said, "Don't read a person's diagnosis. Talk to them first, and then make your own determination." In which I learned that
Absolutely.
was really big for me. And then I learned to be kind, respectful, look people in the eye, and just try to empower them the best way I can.
Okay. And working with the criminal justice system, I would think that you're always dealing with different crises and things like that. So I read that you have advanced training in crisis response and behavioral health influence, like in your day to day work. So what made you add like another layer? Like, okay, I have seen the cop, aspect of it. Like, why did we need to like, get some more info on it? Training.
So I got involved in running was called a co-response program up in Massachusetts, and where they were having crisis clinicians ride with police officers to help them during calls and to determine the level of care they needed. So the lady who started the program at Framingham over 20 years ago started a course in William James College in Newton, Mass. So because I was running a program in Springfield for BHN, Behavioral Health Network, they sent me there to learn to help facilitate work with police and the clinicians how to work together to better
Hmm.
deal with people who are in a crisis and to determine if they needed to go to the hospital or they just needed a different level of care.
Okay. So just working with them in itself, you knew that you needed a different level, different knowledge, just working with it. Because like you said again, it's not good and bad. It's like these people are here for mental health support. So how can
Right.
I better support them in the midst of a crisis? Okay. So what pushed you to pursue a doctorate then? Because like criminal justice, one thing. Okay, mental health. I'm a therapist. Okay, now I want my doctorate. We're just going from level to level. What's going on there? Because we're in the midst of that now.
Well, you like you said, which I didn't realize, you said it was only 1% of us in the mental health field doing this black. I didn't realize there was even less in the doctoral.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I was in school getting my master's, and there was a group of ladies who didn't look like me who were getting their doctorates had said, "Hey, maybe you should go continue to get your doctors because there's not a lot of people who look like you in that position." And I never thought about it. And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And then at first I didn't think I could, but I said, "Let me give it a shot," you know? So I just want to add something more on my resume so I can be able to do more than just one thing. I want to be limited to just be in one area of things. With the doctors, I'm able to spread my wings more, I believe. So that's what made me want to go get one. And then I'll be the first one in my family to have a doctorate.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Another thing too was it was something else to prove to myself because don't laugh. I started Stick, a 2-year college in 1987, and I
Okay.
didn't get my associates till 2002. So
You
so
still
I was
made
like,
it. You still made it.
right. So then when I went back to school, the journey of getting my bachelor's, master's, and doctors, that went quicker, but it allowed me to look back and say, yeah, I can do this. I'm not, you know, I'm, I'm smarter than what I thought I am. And
Mhm.
plus, there was something I wanted to study and find out about, which was the doctor program allowed me to do it. So it allows me to do this dissertation on this stuff to find more research about it and understand
Mhm.
it more.
Okay. So connecting like with the you being so involved like with the criminal justice population, what do people misunderstand about the work that you do? That you did then and now being a therapist now?
A lot of it is we took things personal. People take things personal, and we didn't realize both sides didn't realize what our job was.
Hmm.
We forget that both sides we were supposed to help people, and we thought putting people away was actually helping them, but it wasn't. And then I seen a lot of guys on the job who actually were social workers in a sense in uniform that actually help people. You know, so police officers is a helping profession. It's not just to put people away. People used to they would
Mhm.
go to us to help solve their problems, to help deal with the kids, to try to get the kids out of trouble, or to help with issues at home. So it makes a perfect fit that we be involved in mental health too, because we deal with the people all the time. We're the first
Mm.
person they come and see. So when you call for help, you would call us. So why we should have been more towards that direction.
Okay. Beautifully said. I've dealt with you in the beginning and I can deal with you in your healing in the end. Okay. So like how does that experience of being like a first responder influence your approach to burnout and resilience? Because I'm sure, as a first responder, it's just you go, go, go. So how do you support people through their burnout and being resilient thereafter?
It was funny. I was talking to my partner about that today, and what it is I was lucky that I did develop a drinking problem, did get involved in a 12-step program, got involved in doing work at prisons and meeting people that it allowed me to be able to communicate my feelings instead of
Hmm.
stuffing them, and be able to talk about them and realizing it. See, most of like a lot of cops and people in law enforcement, they don't have that freedom. They stuff everything in because they got to keep moving forward, and they don't know how to transmit it out. I was fortunate enough to be involved with people from both sides, law enforcement and regular people who were involved in 12 step. I built a friendship in a way to be able to communicate how I felt. Let them know, yeah, I was scared, or this bothered me, or this and that. I didn't have to fall under the stigma of have to be tough and rough and hold things in. So that allowed me not to burn out. But then it did reach a point that I realized it was time for me to go because I was supposed to do a couple more years, but I reached a point that I couldn't do it no more. I was
Hmm.
30, 31 years and 4 months. I was 52 years old, and I realized I didn't want to arrest anybody anymore. And I
Hmm.
was working with the kids in the school, and I realized that I don't know if I can protect them anymore, you know? And I just reached a
Wow.
point where I had nothing else to prove. I can leave because I had a degree and I can do something else, you know? So I left early, which allowed me to do my counseling thing, become a clinician in different places.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is at first with being resilient and burnout, ask for help, take the help. Ask for help and take the help. And then with that, you said at a point, I have nothing to prove. I've done what I need to do, so I'm just letting it go. Ask for help, take the help, and if that doesn't work, let it go. After that, just let it go. Okay. So one of your main modalities I read that you use is CBT. Can you explain CBT in a way that actually lands with clients?
Well, I try to help them to replace what they're doing with something else positive, you know, to try to change how they're thinking, their process, how they're thinking, and just um, not relying on the same old thing. Like if I tell you to stop smoking, that's one thing. But if I don't replace you, you're gonna go back to smoking again. So I had to replace with something positive instead of negative. So
Hmm.
we try to give different tools and exercises that they can use, especially if You can try different things, like how I always get angry. So let's try taking a deep breath and count backwards, just a moment, and then or if you know, if you're afraid something's going to happen, if you go to a place, call somebody, stay connected with somebody, change your behavior by using different tools. Um, I give them like a different readings, positive readings that they can do to help them when they're thinking of when they start to get negative and start to go in a dark place. Try to
Mhm.
replace that behavior. Try to do something different. I always tell them, make sure, like, did you eat something? Because a lot of people sometimes don't eat. Did
Mm,
you drink some water? How much rest did you have? How much sleep did you have? All those things are important. I think, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. I
mm,
try to give
hmm.
them just different things to replace the negative things. So, uh, to take away the negative stuff, you know? So that's what I like. A lot of stuff I do, man. Just find something else to substitute the other thing, and then you used to do it, and then reward the wins. You're not going to be perfect, but every little bit counts, and a little bit, and it takes time, you know. But persistency works. Consistency works, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with us getting into the holiday season, I heard you say grief. So, it makes me think of grief and loss. And, during the holiday season, some people are joyful and celebrating, but some people are just like, hey, this reminds me of the people that, I lost. This reminds me that I am alone, right now. So, when you're helping someone navigate through grief or loss, what is one thing that you wish that every clinician would keep in mind when providing help to those who are grieving and who have had a loss?
Yeah, it's funny when you say that because I've been married a long time, and my wife, she would get moody around this time, right in December, this holiday season, and it took me a long. Actually, took me a few years to realize what had happened, and what it was her father had died in December. So every year around that
Mm,
time,
yeah.
she changes, and a lot of people don't realize that they're changing around that time because your body keeps score. Your body knows, even though you might not mentally realize it's the anniversary, your mood changes and all that stuff. So I try to make sure people are aware of different things and say, hey, make sure they have support around them. Who are the collaterals around them around this time? Because this stuff is going to happen around this time. And try to keep them to stay busy, but also too let them know it's okay to be sad. It's okay to
Mhm.
cry.
Yes.
It's okay to. And then also what I learned over the years is ask them about the loved one that they lost. Say, I didn't get the pleasure to meet your mother or your father. Tell me something good about them. You know, use it as a chance so they can reminisce because people do want to communicate it, but sometimes they get caught in two different things. Sometimes they're afraid to say something because people get tired of hearing them talk about the loved ones, but then sometimes they want to say it and they needed to
Mhm.
say it to be reminded of the things that they missed, you know, and just to remind it. And that's what I would tell Christians, like, make sure that they're eating, they're drinking. Also, what I learned about it is how grief affects the body. It changes
Mhm.
your body. So I tell a lot of people too, especially with certain losses, because it happened with me when I lost my daughter. Um, Go to the doctor and let them know because your body changes, your physical body changes. That trauma inside affects your body. So a lot of us end up getting type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, and your immune system's down. You attract a lot of colds and all that stuff because you're dealing with a lot of stuff that's inside, which affects your body chemistry. So I tell people, let your doctor know what's going on, have your checkups, you know, who's your collateral, who do you talk to, celebrate the life instead of looking at it as a doom, to celebrate it. Do something to celebrate that life that you lost and just listen to them and let them talk and let them grieve. And it's okay. It's okay to cry. It took me years to cry because I thought I had to always be in a police mode. I didn't know how to cry. I just was always in a police mode, but then that catches up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. You said a lot there. One thing that is sticking out is asking, when people have grief and loss and things like that, asking to tell them about that person, not just, oh, I'm sorry for your loss, but tell me something about it. Give them that moment to, release something there. And something else you were saying that was just really good was lost it that quick, but you said ask him. And you said something else. Oh, the doctor's part. Going to the doctor, like, hey, you've experienced a trauma that happened. You've lost someone. You've been more stressed. Let your doctor know what's going on. So we should continue to get checked up. You can be sad, but still, let the doctor know what's going on. It may be therapy. You may need a psychiatrist or something else, but let people know. And then also, like you said, people do care about you. So use people that you can as an outlet where you need to speak and talk and be open just to let it out so you can have that cathartic moment. All right, Spoon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what's one trauma informed technique that you think every counselor should master early?
I tell there's a couple of things, like, I like an empowerment people, empowering people. You
Mm,
know, I learned about empowerment of people, and if you have a positive resolve, like my man Viktor Frankl, you know, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control your response to it. You know,
absolutely.
you can always control the response to it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like to encourage people and empower them, and I always ask people too, because sometimes they just want to vent. So I asked them too. I said, "Do you want my ears or you want my mouth? You want me just to listen? I'm here. If you want me to help you problem solve it, we'll do it together. But we do it in a way that you come up with the solution, and
Hmm.
that way you came up with it. Because we got, like how you said, you can leave them the water, but you can't make them drink. But you got to
Hmm.
make sure it's their own idea. That motivational interviewing stuff, make it their own idea. But I'm big on empowerment, giving you the power back,
Hmm.
that you can make your own decisions, right or wrong, and those your choices, and how to live with it and keep moving forward because you're not stuck. You can get through anything. You know, it may not feel good, but you can get through. As long as you have a reason why, try to help them find the reason why you get up every morning. What's your reason why? What is your why that you do certain things? What is your why that you became a therapist? What is why did I became a, what was my why? But it can change over time, and why I keep doing the things I'm doing.
Yeah. So Spoon, you've been in community mental health for a long time. And usually people think like, oh, you do community mental health at the beginning of your career, then you just get out. But it seems like you are staying in this space. What keeps you going?
Um, 'Cause I love what I do. I like helping people, and then some of it's making up for stuff from my past. I realized it. But other than that, it was actually the reason why I became a cop. Is that, like I said, I wanted to be a hero and all that stuff, but a
Hmm.
hero was there to help people. I'm able to help people so they can have a better life, and then they can pass that on, and then they can move and keep doing it to others, you know? And where else better than being in the community that you live and work in? We have
Hmm.
a healthier community, we have a healthier life, we have a healthier future.
I would definitely agree with that. So what do you think are some barriers to mental health right now?
It's funny, right? People say, "Oh, there's a stigma," like, "Oh, we're Italian, we don't talk about it. Oh, we're Spanish, we don't talk about it. Oh, we're Black, we don't talk." Nobody talks about it. It was a generation that my parents grew up with, never talked about it. Then my generation, we're starting to talk about it a little bit more, but now your generations are able to talk about it more with the
Oh
new
yeah.
generations, are being in touch with their feelings. We was always taught to suck it up and keep moving forward. But by us doing that, it caused a lot of stuff for physical problems towards us with the high diabetes, blood pressure, strokes, people dying young because we didn't know how to get rid of this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So now those things are changing. And communication is the key to be able to get it out. But what holds us back is we need permission sometimes for ourselves to say it's okay,
Mm.
ask for help. We gotta say it's nothing wrong to ask for help. And then also it's okay to receive help. And most people want help. They might argue with you in the beginning, but they appreciate the fact that you care. And if you're consistent enough, it will change. Because we need consistency, right or wrong. No matter if you're doing bad or whatever, you need consistency, a routine, steady consistency. And if you're consistent with it, give yourself permission to say it's okay to get help and then allow yourself to receive it.
Mm.
And don't get stuck with the first person. Like if you get stuck with the first bad experience, you know,
Yeah.
search, look. talk to people. We're capable. Know what you want, figure out what you want. And if we sometimes we don't know what we want. Sometimes we don't know we need the help, you know?
Yeah, very true.
And
So
stop Googling
Spoon,
it. Don't Google it.
oh,
That don't get you.
he said, find someone with some credentials,
Yes,
huh?
yes,
Find
yes.
someone with some credentials and get the real help that you need, okay? Don't
Yeah,
be your own barrier. Got it.
yeah.
Okay. So as you're about to finish your doctorate, Dr. Witherspoon, future Dr. Witherspoon, what what do you feel most called to next?
I want to be to teach people, still help and do therapy, and then run some groups and teach people. I want to do a little bit of a little bit of a little bit and spread it out and just try to help somebody get past the next thing and not be afraid of it, you know, to embrace it and be okay with it and live past it. We're so stuck with the diagnosis or whatever's going on. That's not who we are.
Hmm.
We may have it, but we can live with it and can be better and go through it, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautifully said. So what is something today that you want the people to leave with?
Oh my God. That, everybody, everybody needs help. Everybody goes to a dark place. Everybody feels the same way that you do. The only difference is some people go get the help and others don't.
Hmm.
We're no different than anybody. No circumstance is different from anybody else. Every single person goes through the same thing. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Beautifully said. And I just want to say that, Spoon, first of all, thank you for coming on today and just giving us some wisdom and some knowledge from your standpoint. I think it's so amazing that you have been through multiple careers and each of them is, with the helping profession. So I respect that and thank you as a black man looking to you like, hey, he was going to get his PhD even after being, retired. Like you're done. You could be done and say, hey, I did my thing, but you still want to give back to the community. So I thank you for that. I also do want to let everyone know that Spoon is taking clients right now with Tools for Success Counseling. He is in Massachusetts. He's in the Massachusetts office, and he's taking clients now. And we'll give the 15-minute free consultation just if you want to talk and get to know him some more, and just understanding how he can better help you through your situation. And I know that right now we are in the season, November, December, and everybody's looking for a therapist, looking for aid and comfort and whatnot. Slots. It's only 24 hours in a day, 8 hours in a work day. So you want to get in now? You like what you hear? You better get in now. But Spoon, do you have anything else for us before we log off?
No, just be good to yourself.
Hmm.
Take care of yourself and be good to yourself, you know?
All
And that's
right.
all we offer.
All right. Again, Spoon, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you everybody for watching. Visit toolsforsuccess.com. Visit Tools for Success, toolsforsuccesscounseling.com for
Right.
more information. And we will see you all soon. Bye-bye.